The smarter you become, the less you speak. The less you speak, the more you understand. That one truth has changed more lives than endless advice ever could. Most people think talking more makes them sound confident, but real confidence is quiet. Real growth is built in silence. In this audiobook, you're going to learn something most people never figure out: how to speak less and understand more. You'll learn how to control your reactions, how to listen with depth, how to notice what others miss, and how to build real strength without needing to prove anything with your voice. This isn't about staying silent all the time. It's about becoming smart with your energy, your presence, and your words. You'll learn how to win without arguing, lead without shouting, and grow without noise. If you're tired of being misunderstood, drained, or ignored, this is your shift. The real power begins when you stop talking and start paying attention. Chapter 1. Hold your thoughts and give full attention to others. Most people talk too much because they feel the need to be seen or heard. They think that saying something, anything, is what proves they're smart or valuable. But that's not how real understanding works. That's not how you grow. That's not how you learn. If you want to get better with people, stronger in your thinking, and wiser in your life, then you have to learn to do something most never master. You have to hold your thoughts and give full attention to others. When someone's talking to you, they're not just sharing words. They're showing you who they are. They're showing you how they think, what they feel, what they're afraid of, what matters to them. But if you're only half listening, if you're already planning your next sentence, you miss all of that. You lose the real meaning, you lose the connection, you lose the chance to grow. I want you to understand something very important. Holding your thoughts doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you don't have something to say. It means you're strong enough to give the moment to someone else. It means you have the self-control to stop needing to speak and start choosing to understand. And that, my friend, is rare. It takes discipline to listen while someone else opens up. Most people are waiting for their turn to talk. They're not listening. They're just rehearsing. But when you give full attention to someone, they feel it. They feel respected. They feel safe. And when they feel safe, they show you their truth. Now think about your own life. Think about the last time someone really listened to you, fully, without distraction, without checking their phone, without waiting to interrupt. How did that feel? Did you feel seen? Did you feel heard? Did you feel like your words mattered? That's the power of attention. That's the power of presence. That's the power you can give to others if you choose to hold your thoughts. People don't always need advice. They don't always need solutions. Sometimes they just need to be heard. They need someone who cares enough to listen, not to fix them, but to understand them. That's what separates a good conversation from a forgettable one. That's what separates someone who connects from someone who just talks. Holding your thoughts doesn't just help others, it helps you too. When you stop thinking about what you're going to say, your mind opens up. You start catching details you never noticed before. You pick up on tone, you notice body language, you start hearing what's not being said. That's where real understanding lives. It's not just in the words, it's in the space around them. If you want better relationships, personal or professional, learn to give your full attention. No split focus, no multitasking. Just you, present and engaged. When someone's speaking, stop what you're doing, look at them. Listen with your eyes, your ears, your mind. Make them feel like they're the only person in the room. That experience is rare, and rare things build deep trust. You don't need to impress people with your voice. You impress them by how well you hear theirs. You don't need to dominate every conversation. You need to learn when silence is more powerful than speech. Most people miss out on life-changing insights because they talk over them. They rush in to be heard, not knowing that wisdom was already in the room if they had just waited. You also need to understand that silence isn't empty, it's full of meaning. It gives others room to express. It gives you time to absorb. It slows things down so that both of you can think. That's how people start to feel calm around you. That's how people start to respect you. Because you're not in a rush to speak, you're in a place of strength, you're rooted, you're aware, you're in control of yourself. This one habit, holding your thoughts and giving attention, can change how people see you. They'll begin to notice your calm. They'll trust your presence. They'll open up in ways they wouldn't with someone who just talks. And when you finally do speak, they'll listen. Why? Because you earned it. Because your silence had weight. Because your words weren't random. They were earned through patience and understanding. Think about how different your life could be if you practiced this one principle daily. Think about how your relationships would grow if people felt heard every time they were with you. Think about how much wiser you would become if you learned from every conversation instead of trying to control it. You can start today. The next time someone talks to you, pause your mind. Stop the urge to jump in. Give them your full eyes, your full ears, your full attention. Let them finish without cutting them off. Hold your advice unless they ask for it. Listen like they matter, because they do. That moment could change their day, and it could change you too. You'll notice something powerful. You'll start to feel less pressure to speak. You'll stop needing to be the center. You'll find peace in listening. And when you do speak, your words will have more weight. You won't talk just to fill silence. You'll speak because it's time. And when you do, you'll speak with clarity, with purpose, with respect. That's what influence is. That's what leadership is. And that's what personal growth looks like. It's not always about adding more. It's about choosing less, but making it count. That's where growth lives. That's where change starts. So today, choose to speak less. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you're strong enough to listen first. Hold your thoughts. Give your attention. That's how you understand more. That's how you connect deeper. And that's how you build a life that matters. Chapter 2. Say less so you can catch what really matters. Most people miss what's important because they're too busy talking. They talk fast. They talk often. They talk without thinking. And because of that, they lose the chance to really see what's in front of them. When you say less, you give yourself space to notice more. You start hearing what's underneath the words. You start picking up what others miss. That's the real advantage. That's what gives you understanding most people never reach. When you quiet down, you begin to see clearly. You begin to hear things others talk over. You catch the hesitation in someone's voice. You feel the shift in their energy. You notice the truth in their silence. These things can't be heard when you're the one doing all the talking. They can only be caught when your mind is quiet and your attention is sharp. There's power in holding back your voice, not because you're afraid to speak, but because you know the value of listening. You're not here to make noise, you're here to make sense. You're not here to show off, you're here to figure things out. And that can only happen when you stop trying to control every moment with your words. Speaking less doesn't mean staying silent forever. It means choosing your words with intention. It means removing the habit of talking for no reason. A lot of people speak just to fill the space. They don't like silence. They don't know how to sit with it. But silence is where the real data lives. Silence is where people show who they really are. If you rush to talk, you skip that part. You can't see the full picture if your voice is always in the way. You can't learn what matters if you never stop to listen. Saying less gives you time to think. It lets you sit with what you hear. It lets you ask yourself, what's really going on here? Most people don't ask that. They just react, and they talk while they react. That's why they miss what actually matters. When you practice saying less, you build emotional control. You stop blurting things out that you'll regret. You stop adding confusion to conversations that need clarity. You stop making everything about your opinion, and instead you start seeing people for who they are. You start learning how they think. You start becoming someone they trust. That kind of presence is rare. People notice when someone speaks, only when needed. It feels different. It carries weight. It earns respect. The person who always talks rarely has the full picture. They're too focused on expressing. They're not interested in receiving. And that mindset keeps them stuck. They keep repeating the same mistakes. They keep missing out on growth. Because growth requires space. And space only comes when you pull your words back. You don't need to comment on everything. You don't need to explain yourself all the time. You don't need to prove your point in every discussion. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is observe. Watch how people respond. Watch how situations unfold. Watch what's behind the surface. All of that is available when you choose to say less. You'll start to notice things most people don't. You'll notice when someone avoids a topic. You'll catch the little pause before they answer a question. You'll see when their eyes shift. You'll hear the uncertainty behind their strong words. These details tell you more than long conversations ever will, but you can't see them if you're focused on what you'll say next. You have to stay present. You have to slow down. When you do speak, people will lean in because your words aren't wasted, because you don't talk just to talk. That's influence. That's what makes your presence meaningful. You're not the loudest in the room, but you're the most aware. You speak with reason, not just reaction. That's how leaders communicate. That's how wise people move. Saying less also protects your energy. Talking too much drains you. It spreads your attention too thin. It pulls you into arguments and distractions. But when you stay quiet more often, you keep your energy close. You save your focus for what matters. You don't get pulled into every opinion or emotion around you. You choose what deserves your voice and what doesn't. That's discipline. And that discipline gives you control. There is a confidence that comes from saying less. You're not trying to win anyone over. You're not chasing attention. You're not begging to be heard. You're grounded. You're steady. You know your value doesn't come from how many words you use.